Welcome everyone and thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the absolute basics of image composition for video. This is Composition 101. Composition is the visual arrangement of all the different elements inside the boundaries of your scene. How you arrange those elements can have a really big impact on how people interpret or react to that scene. I'm going to get you started with 3 easy rules to consider for better composition. Number 1 is the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds tells us to divide the image into thirds, both horizontally and vertically. What you end up with is 9 segments and 4 intersecting points. And these points are the ideal place to put the important elements of your scene, like a face, for example. You can use these lines as guides for the horizontal and vertical elements within your scene. By doing this, you'll create a convergence of visual elements, and the eyes will naturally follow these lines to your intended point of interest. You can also use these lines as a guide for balancing out a composition so that it doesn't feel too empty, or for creating layers that will add more depth and interest to your scene. One of the common mistakes people make is automatically putting the main subject in the center of the frame, but this can be off-putting for a viewer. It tells us that they shouldn't be looking anywhere else in the frame except right here in the middle, and that can make the viewer feel trapped or confronted. There are times you can use center framing effectively though, such as if you're directly addressing the viewer, or when you've got a balanced, symmetrical background. However, unless you have a really specific intention for using center framing, you're usually better off sticking with the rule of thirds. Rule number 2, leading room. Leading room, nose room, or eye room is the amount of space we put in front of a person or moving object. Where we place our leading room in the frame will depend on where the subject is looking or the direction of travel. If we're following the rule of thirds, it becomes really easy to give somebody an appropriate amount of lead room. Simply work out which direction they'll be looking or walking and put your leading room on that side. If you don't give your subjects enough leading room, it can cause a sense of uncertainty in your viewers. They subconsciously feel like they're missing out on a vital piece of information, like whether our subject is just about to run into a tree. When we give them the proper lead room, the audience can see what's coming next and where the action is going, so they feel a lot more comfortable. Rule number 3, shoot from the hip. Well, not always from the hip, but you should shoot from levels other than eye height. Many people simply lift their camera up to their faces and record their videos from wherever they're standing. In doing this, they're missing out on a whole range of possible compositions and the visual language that goes with them. Let's take the example of shooting a mid-shot of our model. If we shoot at eye level, we actually need to tilt the camera down. This can distort the perspective and also throw off the balance of our background. If we lower the camera just a little bit, we can now shoot with the camera level, our model perfectly in proportion, and our horizon sitting along our upper or lower third line. If you're making videos for a product or a brand, the goal is to make people aspire to own it. You want them to look up to your brand, and you can literally make them do that by changing the height that you shoot your videos from. As a general rule, the wider your composition is and the further you are from your subject, the lower you can take your shots from. If you really want to grab the viewer's attention, you need to show them something new, something they're not used to seeing every day. And changing the camera height to something other than our typical eye level is an easy way to achieve this. Well, there you have it, 3 easy tips to follow to help you improve the composition of your videos. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any composition tips of your own, feel free to leave them in the comments below.